Hey friends! Over the last couple of weeks I got a lot of questions about how I do my Anki cards. So today I will show you how I do my vocabulary, grammar and sentence mining Anki cards, and also talk about what Anki extensions and other websites I use. I always create my Anki cards on my laptop with the downloadable version of Anki. It's completely free for Windows and I will link you the website down below where you can download it from. To create my cards, I downloaded 4 different extensions, and the first one is the image resizer, then the Japanese support, the quick color changing, and the review heat map. And the image resizer basically helps you to resize your images, as the name suggests. So when you add pictures to Anki, the cards all have the same size so that you don't have to worry about the picture either being too big or too small. And you can also change the size to your liking. I have the height to 400 pixels and scale to height and keep ratio. The next extension is the Japanese support, and this automatically generates furigana for your kanji words after you type in a word or phrase into the expression field of your card when making the flashcards, and then hit enter. And I will show you later how it works when I create an example card, so don't worry. Then I have the quick color changing. This basically allows you to color text with a defined shortcut key, but to be honest, I never really use it. The review heat map visualizes your past and future card review activities, and it tells you your current streak and also how many cards are due in the next couple of days. So if I click out of this window, you can see it right here, and it will keep track of how many Anki cards I did, like for example last year where I didn't study, and also the darker the color, the more cards I reviewed on those days. For example, here it's very light, I only did 32, but here 550 cards. And then if I look in the next week, for example, I see, okay, if I don't review anything from now on, I would have 23 cards due on the 21st of February. So I think it's really handy and also motivating to try to push you to keep your streak. Of course, I didn't manage to do it. As you can see, my longest streak was 410 days and my current streak is 11 days. And you can also see your daily average studied cards and the days you've learned since you installed it. And the card format I used, I also downloaded together with the Japanese support add-on. I have basically 2 different ones. And there's basically the Japanese recognition and recall, which I use for all my grammar and vocabulary cards. But then there's also just the recognition card, which I use for sentence mining. So this basically means when I use recognition and recall, I have to do both sides of the cards. So I have to translate it from German into Japanese and from Japanese into German. And when I only do recognition, I only have to translate it from Japanese into German. So now I'm gonna show you how I design my cards. Let's start with the vocabulary card. I will just pick one of my folders and then I will click on add. And then you will see here I have the card type Japanese recognition and recall, which I always use for vocabulary cards. And it goes into the stack of Gogo Nihon and 3 course. And then I have 3 different places where I can put text. I can just put in my expression, so this word right here. And then I will do an example sentence. Sometimes I just come up with it myself, but sometimes I will also hop onto the internet. For example, Jisho I often use, and then I will put in the exact same word. And then there you have links and you can say sentence search for this word. And then I will click on it. And it will give me, for example, 4 different example sentences I can use. And then I will basically choose a sentence, copy it, and then add it. And yeah, sometimes the formatting is a bit weird when I copy something from another website. And then I will just try to undo the formatting. Sometimes it's a bit of hassle, but yeah. So, and now I basically have my word and I have an example sentence that uses this word. And of course, I also try to pick example sentences that don't have any other words I don't know, so that it won't be extra confusing for me. And then after I've done this, I will click out of this field, and then because of the Japanese support extension, there's now the exact same thing I wrote above, but with the furigana, and those furigana will be shown on top of the words, like when I review the cards, and I will show it to you after I finish the card, how it looks in the end. But it's oftentimes really important to check if the furigana are right, because especially if you only have one word, sometimes they can be wrong, which is a bit unfortunate, so make sure to still double check. Looks good. And I learn my Anki cards from German to Japanese and Japanese to German because my native tongue is German, so I will just put in the translation, so Mikrowelle, and then die Mikrowelle erwärmt das Essen im Handumdrehen. So basically the microwave makes the food hot in an instant. This is then almost finished. And then I will just hop back onto the internet and put the word into Google that I'm trying to find a picture for. Then I will just drag the picture onto my card, and there it is. And because of the image resizer extension, it always has this size. So usually this picture would be quite huge, I believe. And because I also like color, I will also color in the word in my example sentence as well in Japanese as in German. So I will just make the screen right here, and I also do all of my new vocabulary words in green and my new grammar expressions in pink, so that I have a little bit of a separation in my brain when it comes to the colors. And yeah, that's basically the finished card. And then in keywords, I will write Substantiv, so noun in German, so that I can just sift through my Anki cards when I'm searching, for example, for a specific noun or a verb, or I want a list of all my adverbs that I've learned because I want to write a text and I never use adverbs, which is true. So then I will just click add, and then the card is finished. And if I go into my card managing system, then I can see the card I just did. And when I click on preview, then yeah, this is basically the front of my card. So when I'm asked to translate the word into Japanese, the back of my card is then the Japanese part. This is what I wrote myself, and this is what the Japanese support put there automatically. So it put the furigana over the kanji and also over the katakana. So it makes it a lot easier for me to study and to know exactly how to read things if I don't know how to pronounce a certain kanji, for example, so that I don't learn my own mistakes. And my grammar cards I do basically in the same way. So I will just show you an example of how my grammar cards look. So let's see. Yeah, maybe this one. Then instead of putting in a word and an example sentence, I will just put in the example sentence. Then I will also put in some explanations for the grammar point. So for example, this grammar sentence is, I was taught how to cook with only 100 yen. And then I will say below that this will express a limit, for example, or a time period or a volume, price, etc. And then I have the sentence that uses the grammar point. And to show you another example, dore ga ii ka mayou kedo kore ni shimasu. So I don't know which one is good, but I will choose that one. And this is basically, ich bin mir nicht sicher, welches gut ist, aber ich entscheide mich für dies. The German version of what I just told you in English. And then I also have the explanation here so that you can use a noun with ni suru to decide for something, or that there are also other things possible, like with koto, for example, if you use it together with a verb. So I will just give myself hints on how to use the grammar point, if there are specific things I need to keep in mind, if there are grammar points that are similar that I already know, and what the differences of the grammar points are. So I do basically a lot of notes for myself, and I will just use the bullet point function to write it down. So it's basically the same as my vocabulary cards, just with a bit more information. And then we also have my sentence mining cards. And if I want to do one, I just click add. And then you see that the type is Japanese recognition sentence mining. So this means I don't get both sides of the cards, but I only get the recognition side. And then, of course, I also have the expression field again. So here I will type a sentence I want to sentence mine. And then I will also do a recording, because here you have the function to record audio. So for example, if I watch a show or a video, I will just hit record the sentence I want to learn, and then I can listen to the sentence while I do my Anki cards. make it more clear, I will show you some cards that I've already made. Sometimes, to be honest, I'm a bit too lazy to do the voice recording, so sometimes my Anki cards look just like that, so that I have my sentence I want to learn, and then I have the word I want to learn, or maybe also sometimes the grammar point in the sentence that I don't know. And then on the other page, I basically have the translated sentence, and I also always include a picture of the video I was watching or the show I was watching, so that I know exactly the situation the sentence was set in. And to show you another one, this one was when I watched Terrace House, and I believe this one also has sound. Yeah, with this one I also recorded the sound to make it more clear. I think we should do an example card. Maybe let's say "Taksan kanko shitai desu ne." I will just type out the sentence. Kanko shitai desu ne. And then I will record the sentence so that I also have a voice recording. So let's see where it starts. Ah, I missed it. I know the sentence is coming next, so I will already press record audio. So, and now I basically have the sound recording here, and then I will add the meaning, of course. So it would be, I want to do a lot of sightseeing. So, ich möchte viele Touristenattraktionen besuchen. And then again, like for example, if I would say, okay, kanko shitai or kanko suru, I don't know this one, then I will make it green because it's the new word. Touristenattraktionen besuchen, so do a lot of sightseeing. I would make this also green. And then I would also include the picture. So for that, I will use the snipping tool and say new, and then just paste. And there it is. And as you can see again, the Japanese support extension put the furigana for the kanji word next to it. And then for tags, I would usually use Japanese with shun. And then I would hit enter. There it is. And then I have the sentence I want to learn. I have the audio that I can play if I want to. And then there is my German sentence, like the back of the card. And then the picture, which shows me where the sentence was said, like in which context, for example. And yeah, that's basically how I do my Anki cards. There is also, again, the home view of my Anki set up. And as you can see, I have a lot of different stacks of Anki cards, but I really like to divide everything in the resources where I got it from. And one thing to note, if you want to do sentence mining cards from Netflix, Netflix doesn't let you do pictures like with the snipping tool, because then the picture will be completely black. So I found a workaround, and for Chrome, I have an extension which is called Fireshot, and I will also link it down below. And yeah, that's basically how I do all my Anki cards. Do you also make them in a similar way, or do you use other extensions and card types? Let me know in the comments below. If you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. And if you want to know more about how I study Japanese by myself, check out those videos right here. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!